creatures more terrifying than Megalodon living in... I feel like we've watched this exact video, but I actually don't think I have, which is crazy. I'm fairly sure I've watched something with this exact title, and then I watched another one with this title that had a part 2, but I don't think I've watched this exact video. They're becoming unintelligible anymore.
You ever wondered about what lies in the dark depths of the ocean? And I bet you'll find them scarier than a Megalodon.
All right, bizarre creatures scarier than a Megalodon living in the Mariana
Trench is found in the western Pacific Ocean, 124 miles away from the crescent-shaped archipelago known as the Mariana Islands.
It's literally a copy-paste title.
2,000 meters to fill. The area is shrouded in complete darkness, making it difficult for all animals to traverse the trough. Second, there's no algae or plants to eat down there.
I mean, so far this video is fine. Third, it's just giving background on the Mariana Trench.
It's very cold down there. That's like bearing the weight of a fully loaded truck on your head whilst stuck inside a refrigerator. As you're about to see, to survive given these extreme factors, the creatures in those depths have evolved in some bizarre ways. First up, this creepy fish dwelling in the Mariana Trench known as the fangtooth. It's a vericiform fish,
in the Mariana
which
Trench,
means it's carnivorous and
creature?
lives in deep nocturnal habitats. It got its name for how big its fang-like teeth are, which are the largest teeth of any fish relative to their body size. 2 of its fangs are so long that the fangtooth evolved 2 sockets beside its brain to contain them when the mouth is closed. Even so, its teeth are so large it can't fully close its mouth. Its large teeth are thought to be an advantage
Either way,
in the dark,
deep water
isolated
fish, so not
depths
that bad.
where anything encountered must be preyed upon. Even if its prey turns out to be much larger
Every
than
sea monster
itself,
video must have a description of the Mariana Trench.
Large teeth.
Yeah. What the fuck is this, by the way? This is an abomination. This is not a real fish. Is this a sturgeon that they photoshopped a shark's face onto? What the fuck is this? This is terrifying. And why is it being attacked by a fangtooth?
Apart from the small but freaky fangtooth, there are other creatures such as the Mariana snailfish and the benthic comb jelly that are known to survive in waters as extreme as the Mariana Trench, but none of them are as terrifying or bizarre as the Megalodon, an extinct shark species that averaged a frightening length of 10 meters.
Why is he giving things about... He's just said none of them are more terrifying. Isn't the entire point of the video that their things are more terrifying than the Megalodon? Is this another AI-generated fucking script?
The same as a T-Rex. So, to find creatures as scary as the Megalodon that could live in the Mariana Trench, we have to go back in time to the prehistoric period when sea levels and the geography of the world were vastly different.
And thus the trench wasn't there.
Only 4 brief descents have ever been made to discover what lives in the Mariana Trench, which means all we can do is guess about what lives down there. We've still got 95% of the ocean to explore. And since the Mariana Trench is over 95,000 square miles, who knows? We might even find some deep-sea creatures we previously thought were extinct. Let's explore the possibilities now.
So he gave one real thing and then decided to just go off the fucking deep end about random shit.
First up is a carnivorous marine reptile. So could Lyopleurodon have lived in the Mariana Trench?
This is 100% AI generated. This is an AI generated script. They put it in a website to write the script and then they reviewed it slightly to make sure that it didn't make no sense. Just had to make a little bit of sense.
Researchers noted that the reptile's propulsion method wasn't exactly the most efficient, but it allowed the carnivore to accelerate and successfully ambush its prey. Plus, studies about the Lyopleurodon skull...
They're making fun of the efficiency of this dude's locomotion as a way to talk about it being... it's crazy. Also, the Lyopleurodon is not in the Mariana Trench. It's just an ocean-going animal that is extinct. What does this have to do with the trench at all?
Suggests that it might have used its nostrils to identify distinct smells and locate their source. This suggests it lived in deeper waters like the Mariana Trench, where a lack of visibility didn't affect its ability to hunt prey. In addition,
like the Mariana Trench.
Lyopleurodon had eyes designed to ambush its prey from below. Their
are not the same thing. Deeper water and trench are not analogous.
Sunlight no longer reaches the Mariana Trench. A second prehistoric monster that may have well lived in the Mariana Trench is this giant marine mosasaur known as a Helicoprion.
Why do they say may well have lived? Like, they know that all the fossils that we've found of these organisms are not from the trench. So we know pretty assuredly that these things did not live in this specific spot.
Which scientists think grew up to 12 meters long, about the same length as an average Megalodon. And with teeth like that, it would have even scared a Megalodon.
Like, there's no need to even speculate when the fossils are found in different areas, so we can tell exactly what climate, what place they were in, what type of habitat they were living in. Like, fossils tell you a lot. If you can identify the specific rock layer and you know geologically what was there at that time,
Scientists say that it lived predominantly in the shallow waters of Europe and North America, but there's also some evidence.
Is that supposed to be scientists? This guy represents scientists. This guy in safety goggles, a button down, and a lab coat with fucking Justin Bieber hair.
Lived predominantly in the shallow waters of Europe and North
And a
America,
bowl cut.
but goblin sharks can live up to 1,300 meters below, while frilled sharks can reach depths of 1,500 meters. The giant squid, a cephalopod, has been found at a depth of over 1,000 meters. The leatherback sea turtle, on the other hand, has been found at a depth of 1,200 meters. And a Hanosaurus specimen was found to have eaten a giant turtle in Belgium. These depths are approximately the same as the starting depth of the Mariana Trench.
Yes, the starting depth, aka the rest of the ocean. The depth of the rest of the ocean. They're not at the depth below that.
Possible that, up next, here's a shark-like fish.
They're just naming sharks and marine reptiles. This has absolutely nothing to do with the trench.
That lived 290 million years.
It also says living in. Living in. Not only are they not living, but they're also not ever in the Mariana Trench.
Ago, and
So much
about
wrong.
6 meters long. Helicoprion could have lived in the Mariana
The trench
Trench
didn't
for
even
several
exist
reasons.
back then. The Tethys Ocean still existed. Yeah, that like opening seaway that led to the Mediterranean Sea and all that.
First, its closest living relatives are the chimeras, with most species in this order living in depths of up to 2,600 meters.
Why is he showing a saw shark? What was he just talking about? Helicoprion?
Since chimeras thrive in these depths, perhaps the Helicoprion lived even deeper. It's a particularly mysterious
Why was he
creature,
just showing
and
a saw
scientists
shark?
It's thought to have lived around the location of the trench, so there's a good chance the seabed around that location is the only place we'll find a complete fossil of it.
Yeah, but not in the
its diet
trench.
is similar to the Hanosauruses since it also ate fish and cephalopods. Noting is the Autobonocetops,
Holy
a whale
fucking
that
balls. Is that a manatee with a tusk?
became extinct before the Pliocene epoch began about 5.3 million years
That's kind
ago.
of sick, actually.
It measured
Not
about
terrifying at all. Probably has nothing to do with the Mariana Trench, but it looks like a manatee with a tusk, and that's kind of cool.
4 meters long and weighed up to 650 kilograms. It's not the biggest marine mammal, but it's hefty enough
What
to
would
be
that tusk
feared by
ever
the
be
many
used
small
for? It's
creatures in
facing the
deep.
wrong direction
There's
to
a lot
attack or
suggest
defend
that
from
it may have
anything.
lived in the Mariana Trench. Cuvier's beaked whales have traveled nearly 3,000 meters down. The deepest recorded
3,000. They can dive down to 3,000 meters. Didn't he specifically say that the trench starts? Okay,
dive
whatever.
by any mammal. The pressure is already so great in these depths that a creature's lungs could collapse and
What someone in chat said earlier is like the most truthful thing about this. They give evidence and then they disprove their own evidence, and then they use the fact that they disprove their own evidence as evidence for their evidence.
they could suffer
It's
from
fucking
convulsions.
insane.
Yet
It
whales
makes
are
your
willing
brain
to
go
there to find
crazy
food, such as the
trying to
deep-sea
understand
squid.
what these people are
The
saying.
secret here is that
It's just
marine
AI
mammals such
written.
as whales. Another clue as to whether the Autobonocetops went down as deep as the Mariana Trench is how its snout and neck evolved. The whale's snout resembles that of a walrus, which indicates it was probably a bottom feeder that
No,
ate mollusks
it represents that of a manatee, not a
by
walrus.
sucking them out of their shells. That bodes well for a thought experiment, as scientists have observed mollusks in the Challenger Deep, the deepest point of the Mariana Trench.
What? It feeds on mollusks. There are mollusks in the Mariana Trench. Therefore, everything that has fed on mollusks ever must have a chance that it actually could have gone into the Mariana Trench. Humans eat mollusks. Humans eat clams and oysters and all that. Therefore, we must be getting them from the trench. There's nowhere else they could possibly be.
But scientists think that it may have used its tusks not only to find any nearby prey, but also to stun them, similar to how narwhals today use their tusks
Dude,
to stun
I can't believe
Arctic
narwhals
cod.
actually
All in all,
exist.
the Mariana
That shit's
Trench remains a
crazy.
mysterious, elusive habitat that we may never get to fully explore. So the possibilities of strange life down there are endless. What do you think we'll find down there?
Literally nothing except small organisms.